This Albion Online video is all about how to be ready for the Rogue Frontiers update. As of the video upload, you have about 1 month to be fully ready for this update, to take advantage of everything that you want to do. And so I'm here to help you get ready for the update so that you can plan things out, have your character set up and ready to go day one, and make as much money and fame and try out all the new stuff that you possibly can. So step number one that you need to be doing right now, this should be your primary goal besides earning silver, flipping, and gathering, is have a black zone set at 100 specialization. So when you open your Destiny board and you go over to, say, like Mage, and then you go over to Warlock, this should be level 100. But let's say you have Curse Staff. You don't need to hold, the whole tree does not need to be 100. That is something for veteran players, okay? But if you use a Curse Staff, you want to have this at level 100. Alright, you can do this in 2 to 3 days if you grind it out. Even in the yellow zone, you can grind it out in 2 to 3 days. It's not that, it doesn't take that long to hit 100 specialization, alright? So, and once you have 100 specialization in your black zone set, so here's an example, I would take a Curse Staff, and I've made plenty of videos on my channel showing black zone safe sets. I would take a Mercenary Jacket, a Mage Cowl, and what is this? A Guardian Boots. And then just like a cheap mount, maybe a cheap food, and that would be it. I'd no cape, no bag, no offhand. It's, again, this is a cheap 4.1 set worth like 20 to 30k tops that you would be using, that you want to have spec'd up. You want to have this spec'd up so that you can fight the new mobs, rescue the smugglers who are being held hostage, so you can just go into the black zone and do the new content. Without having 100 spec, you are at the mercy of not only the mobs, but also other players. And here's the thing, in a cheap 4.1 set like this, most people won't mess with you. You're just not worth the hustle, the tussle, right? Unless they outnumber you or they massively outgear you and you're harassing them, they're not going to bother to dismount and kill you and take your stuff because your stuff isn't worth that much, and there's always a chance you dot them up, you curse the hell out of them, you last quite a while in the fight, and then someone rolls up and eats their 2 million set. Most people won't take that risk, and so they'll leave you alone. Unless, again, if you're trying to attack them or steal their content, like if you walk on someone trying to, you know, transport the smuggler cash or whatever, however it's going to be, then yeah, they're going to kill you, and this set probably won't do you any good. But it's cheap, and you can continuously go again infinitely without running out of silver, assuming you leveled up a basic gathering set to make money from. Step number 2 is to buy copies of your sets now while they're cheap during what's called off-season. It's not off-guild season. That's not what I care about. I'm talking about, it is not, like, there's not a big player spike. There's not a bunch of advertising from the company of the game trying to push people into their new update. There's not a bunch of YouTubers being shilled money. And yes, SBI and Stillfront do pay big YouTubers, not me, but other YouTubers, to just randomly cover their game that then bought their views, and they're like, oh, I did 100 days in Albion, and yeah, that gets a million views. No, it doesn't. That's botted. And anyway, the point is that they're going to be throwing money at this update to get people into the game, and to get people coming back, playing the game, and card swiping, alright? They have a whole team of people dedicated to knowing if this kind of advertising and, you know, market push to the game for the update will make them money, and they will act accordingly. But when they do that, everything goes up in price. The price of gold goes up. The price of silver, you know, the worth of silver goes down. That means the cost of everything goes up in silver. So if you buy everything now, you will save money than buying it later or when the patch drops. Also, stock up on consumables, whatever food you prefer, if you want, like, health regeneration or more damage. Food is always, it always spikes up every single major update drop, and so you can expect food to go up. And for you food crafters out there, you know what I'm talking about, right? But yeah, buy your items now. Now, step number 3 is to travel to the rest zone and live there a bit. What is a rest zone? Well, in the black zone, we have Arthur's Rest. This is a little mini town with a market and a stash. And what you need to do is, once you travel there, from the black zone, for instance, Bridgewatch Portal, you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's 7 zones away. It's a bit of a ride. You can also take the save portal, and hopefully it puts you close. I took about 10 rolls to get 2 zones away from it, so it's not really worth the silver in that regard. But you want to travel there and make it your home. If you have like a guild and a hideout, obviously you can't. But when you make it your home, you can then travel to it naked, right? So here's Arthur's Rest. And when you travel there and you make it your home, you know, everything here is going to be a little bit more expensive. Like, if I type Cursed Staff and I want to buy a 4.1 Cursed Staff, well, it's 80,000. It's 80,000. And, yeah, people still buy it at that price. Like, 3 days ago, someone bought one. What? Yeah, anyway. So you're going to need to bring some of your supply. Don't bring everything. You could get ganked on the way, and you could get murdered. And, like, even this guy, this Smoking Blunts dude, I think he's a YouTuber, maybe. Nope, I don't know, whatever. Drugs are bad, don't smoke blunts. But the point is that he literally just said, let's gank, as soon as I got here in the town. He's asking people in Say Chat to gank with him, right? And I'm sure this guy is quite the murderous. Yeah, 2,000 people killed. He's quite the murderer, right? So people are going to kill you on the way here, so don't bring much. Just bring, like, a handful of Cursed Staffs, a handful of armors, and so on and so forth. And, you know, if you think if anyone's following you at all, turn around and go back to safety immediately, right? But you need to travel to the rest, and you want to live out of the rests for a little while. And this is going to give you the feel of living out of one of the smugglers' hideouts, because in the new update, the smugglers' hideouts are basically hideouts, but for the public. And so you can apparently set your home there and travel to it, to and from it, and it'll have its own market and stash and stuff. And so you're going to want to get used to living in the Black Zone. And the best way to do it as a solo player with no guild is to just make your home at one of these rests for a little while and get a feel for it. Get a feel for the people that live around here. You're going to want to learn the culture. Now, here's the thing, right? You could try to do something fancy, like go to region political view guilds or something. It'll tell you, like, the times that they're active and stuff. And you want to find a time where the guilds aren't active, okay? But this map, it can tell you numbers, it can tell you everything, but it won't tell you the truth. Because for all you know, even though the guilds aren't doing wars and battles in their zone, they could have, like, a whole bunch of people out gathering or ganking all day. And what you want to do is you want to pick some of your favorite little black... Okay, that's ugly map. You want to pick some of your favorite Black Zone areas, find a nice cozy one, try to find one where you're not ganked that much, and there's not a lot of player activity, and then when the time comes, if that zone has a smuggler's hideout, that's where you want to be. And you can make that your little home, your little cozy home, and maybe you'll make some friends, probably not. Every friend you ever try to make in this game just ends up leaving party and killing you immediately. It's such a pain in the butt. Alright, and I'm the most famous Albion YouTuber, and if it's happening to me, it's happening to you 10 times over, okay? But the point is you need to find somewhere to call home, and you have a month to do that, to figure out what works for you and your schedule and stuff. And yeah, a lot of these zones are very bloodthirsty, but you know, just having a little small base of operations out of Arthur's Rest might not hurt, because there is rumor that the markets in the smugglers' dens will be linked to the rests. And I don't know if that's true or not. We'll wait and see what happens. But just operating out of a rest will get you the feel of having a hideout without having to toe suck and bend the knee and join a guild, okay? Also, if you don't know how to set home in, like, say, Arthur's Rest, there's, like, a little piece of parchment, you know, usually near the markets. You just click it, and that's how you set your home. And you can always, like, here's the thing, right? Setting your home doesn't do anything unless you're in a guild with a hideout, then you lose that hideout home. But for everyone that doesn't have a guild or a hideout, all it does is it changes your home from Bridgewatch to Arthur's Rest, which you can fast travel to Bridgewatch for completely free when you're naked, and then you can just set your home back here if you care, or if you don't want to ever go back to Arthur's Rest, because you've been murdered endlessly and ruthlessly over and over again. So step number 4 is a very basic one. This is not like a market flip advice. This is more of a, if you craft your own faction capes, if you want to make a little bit of money, a lot of people are going to do this, so it's not really going to be like the biggest flip, but stock up on capes and cape materials before the patch, because let me just show you right now. We'll look at some capes real quick. Let's type Limhurst cape, right? Just a regular old Limhurst cape. To make a Limhurst cape, you need leather, you need the crest, and you need the tree hearts, right? However, everyone's going to be crafting the new cape on the patch day. Everyone. Well, not everyone, but the whales and the cartels and the guilds, they're all going to craft as many of these new capes as they can. which means the cost of capes will go up. Not much, but it will go up, and that means the price of leather will go up, and the price of cloth will go up. And so, just keep this in mind, that if you burn through a lot of capes because you do full loot PvP, you might want to stock up on capes now because it's just going to be more expensive later, and you could flip it, but a lot of people are going to also try flipping it, and so it's a volatile market. You just don't want to be caught in the middle of it. That's all. And if you're wondering what you should flip for this patch, well, channel members already got a small heads up, and they may be getting more updates soon enough, but that is $5 a month. Right down below this video, there is a join button. It is through YouTube. You click join, you pay YouTube $5 a month, and I get less than half of that, and then I have to pay taxes on that half that I get, so I don't really get that much of the share, but it gives you access to private, more personal videos that are too good for the public. And also, it just helps support the channel, because I'm not shilling you with ads. I'm not telling you to play stupid games. I'm not telling you to buy dumb products. I'm just telling you, hey, if you want to become a channel member, you can. Back to the video. So, day 1 of the patch, every single big guild, every single veteran player, every single board person, if there's no new games coming out for people to be absorbed into, they're all going to come back to Albion. It's going to be a massive high population, couple of weeks, probably. Usually after 2 weeks, it dies down. So, day 1 of the patch, expect traffic. If you go out into the black zone expecting to be, finding all these, smugglers and saving them and running their caches to the hidden hideouts, so is everyone else. Every single person that plays this game is going to be doing the new content, because as we all know, doing the new content makes the most silver, usually, as history has shown. And so there's going to be entire guilds full of discords, people, like 20, 30 people loaded into a Discord, all in a raid group doing this stuff. And so just expect traffic, expect to die, expect for an entire guild of 20 people to roll over you and kill you immediately. After 2 weeks, you can have the content to yourself mostly, but for the first 2 weeks, it's going to be a bloodbath. So if you want to prepare for that and maybe have a bomber set to blow people up doing stuff, you can. Just note that doing any of the new content anytime there's a new patch, especially in full loot zones, you're just asking to donate gear. Alright, and that's why I advised you in step 1 to get your cheap sets. Don't go out in expensive sets unless you have a whole Discord group full of friends to back you up. So step number 6 is to start stockpiling silver now, unless you are a card swiper. If you are a card swiper, do not bother, because on patch day, the price of gold will be stupidly high, probably, maybe, and you can just card swipe and earn more that way. But for everyone else that's free to play, like me, start stockpiling your silver now, because you're going to, probably have to buy lots of sets. And again, if you already bought your sets, good for you, but everything's going to go up in price on patch day. That's how it always happens. The markets always go wild and crazy. Everything gets more expensive. And you got all month to prepare, so, start gathering like crazy. And if you're like me, I'm holding all my gather materials, right? I'm just holding on to it. I'm just waiting for patch day, and yeah, so we're just gonna chill. We're just gonna chill on our fat stacks of items here, and yes, 8 babies. But man, I keep hiccuping, dang. But the point is, just start stockpiling anything that you can sell for silver now. Also, stockpiling raw silver is good, and, you can take a chance in the gold market, buy gold now, and then when it goes up on patch day, you can sell it for a little bit of profit, but everyone's going to do that, so the price is going to it's going to zigzag like crazy, and it could crash, or it could, go to the moon, as they say, but you never know, and I don't want to tell you to do one thing, and then the other thing happens, and then oops, you're screwed, right? So, just make sure you have plenty of silver for patch day. Don't be that guy that has, 100K to his name, and everyone else is out having fun and doing the new content, and you're broke, stuck having to gather in the blue zone, okay? You don't want to be broke on patch day. So step number 7 is you're going to need to learn a mobility build. Everyone has their own little favorites. Some people like bloodletters, some people like double-bladed staff, and so on and so forth. If you want to know what the best possible mobility build is for, in this instance, we would be rescuing smuggler caches and turning them in. It's the same thing as rescuing a wisp in the mists, if you know what that is. But on screen here, let me show you. I have a video called the best build to rescue wisps in Albion Online, and it looks like this, the #1 mobility build, where I go through and I test every single mobility build to show you which is the best for short bursts, which is the best for long transports, and so on and so forth. So this has all of the data, and yes, I know it's 2 years old, but it's still relevant. It is still relevant today. And if you have trouble finding this, just click my channel like so. I'm going to videos, click this search button here, and then type Albion Mobility. Learn how to spell it, don't misspell it. And there it is, it's right there, super easy to find. You can also look at some of these other really nice videos if you're curious. But it's really that simple. It's really that simple. And no, I'm not going to spoil the video for you. You're going to have to go watch the video yourself. That would make this video way too long. Also, just a side point, I know Reddit likes to say it's bullcrap, but no matter how good your mobility build is, a dedicated ganker group in a Discord will kill you, except for the very rare off chance that a YouTuber is recording, and they record their miraculous escape where they got away with 50 million worth of stuff, and then it turns out that all the people ganking them were just paid actors, and they're friends with them in their Discord. It's like, yeah, I'm sure that was a totally legitimate escape. Yeah, sure, bud. And step number 8 is get ready to stream snipe. That is right, stream sniping is back on the menu, boys, because in the newest update, you will be able to stream snipe the streamers, and if they drop their death trophy, which is the new feature of the update, you could probably sell their death trophies for big bucks, myself included. If you see Swole Benji in the red zone, or red or black zone, I guess red zone, and you kill me and I drop a death trophy, oh boy, there's going to be people willing to pay oodles for that to put it on their island or their guild hideout or wherever. There's so many people that hate me and want my death trophy, and I guarantee you there's a lot of people that feel the same towards every streamer ever. So get ready to stream snipe, and you have a whole month to learn how to do it. And if you want to learn more, just the more basics of stream sniping, well, if you just look on the screen just real quick, oh hey look, there's a website, and you could go there, and yeah, certainwebsite.com/user/swolebenji, and there's a video called Stream Sniping Tutorial, and you could watch it, and you could learn how to stream snipe there. And if you're worried about getting banned for stream sniping, don't, because they don't ban for stream sniping. They only banned me one time for 2 weeks because I bullied Nizori while he was walking around a sponsored streamer, as in the game company gave a streamer named Coupons, who's some pothead dork, you know, they're like, hey, we'll pay you money and we'll give you an account with like some fame unlocks and some silver and gold, and you can play around on it, and we'll pay you for it. And our employees, Nizori, being an employee for SBI, masquerading as a streamer YouTuber, you know, walking him around the game, showing him the faction fights in yellow zones. And yeah, I defended myself. They flagged up on me, right, for the second and third fight or something, and I just beat them up in a dungeon, whoop-de-doo. You know, they could have just invited me to the group and I would help DPS everything down and been chill, but no, they chose violence. But because it's me, and everyone hates me, and because it was a sponsored stream, I'm the one that eats a 2-week ban. No one I was with ate a 2-week ban, only me. And if you were some literal who, no-named, no famous person, if you were not famous in this game and not hated, then you wouldn't eat a ban. They would just be like, oh, some guy is stream sniping us, blah, right? But no, him and his cronies got on the phone with Game Masters at like 2 in the morning, America time, and we're like, ban this guy, blah, blah. And like Game Masters were like logging me out of my account and teleporting me around. And it's like, bro, like, yeah, I get it. You know, I get it. You guys spent money on this, and, you know, time is money, blah, blah, blah. But no, at the end of the day, I was just playing the game the way the game is designed and meant to be played. And at the end of the day, they're not going to ban random people. Imagine. Oh, it would make every Twitch streamer literally untouchable if they did, right? So, stream snipe away. They're easy to pick. Even though they hide the little stuff in the bottom of the map, there's still ways to find out where they're at and track them down and kill them. And it's really easy to do if you go watch that video on that website I showed. Step number 10 is you want to make sure that your islands, laborers, and everything else, you know, having to do with islands is ready to go. So, here would be an example. If I was to do long-term farming in the Black Zone, and I wanted to do Tier 8 Black Zone mob grinding while doing the Smuggler's stuff, obviously I would want some Tier 8 Mercenary Journals, right? So I would have my island, my Tier 8 Guild Hall, set up for mercenaries, which I do have right here. I've got the trophies, I've got the regular trophies, the tables, the beds, even the really expensive spyglasses. Man, these things are pricey, right? I've got it all set up and ready to go, right? You know, this is just an example. I'm not actually going to bother to do it. But you want to have your islands, all set and just set for whatever it is you want to do that month. I like to, most of the time I'll have my laborers on my island set up for like skinning. So if I skin for a month, all my laborers are getting fed massive books and I'm getting massive returns. But in this case, like if I'm doing, mercenary laborers in a Tier 8 Black Zone, well, these journals fill up incredibly fast, and one journal has the potential to give me 13,000 silver, so that is, 13,000 times 15 laborers. That's an extra 195k silver a day, right? Which is not bad, and if I have multiple Tier 8 Guild Hall islands, that would be multiple, 200ks, but this is my only one, and I'm not going to get any more than that, because the cost to get all of this, it would take like a year of playing every day just to comp the cost, okay? Tier 8 mercenary laborer is not worth it. I only have it because I'm super wealthy and had nothing else to buy with my money, and I just wanted to have it just to say I had it, okay? So it's more of a flex than an actual profit thing. But yeah, for your regular islands, your Tier 4, 5, and 6 guild halls, those are totally worth it, and they pay for themselves after a couple months. You just want to make sure everything's set up and ready to go so you're not scrambling to have it all set up the day of the patch. Also, because I know someone's going to ask an off-subject comment, they're gonna be like, how much do like Tier 4 laborers make? Okay, so here's the mercenary laborer, here's Tier 7, it's 8.4k, Tier 6 is 5.3k, Tier 5 is 3.4k, and Tier 4 is 2.2k. I'm not doing Tier 3 and Tier 2, those aren't worth doing. Step 11, the final step, exploit early and often. Now, I don't mean cheat, I don't mean hack, I don't mean run third-party programs. What I mean is that on patch day, if you find some magical, crazy silver method that makes you super freaking rich, don't hold off on not doing it. You need to do it as much as you can, as early and as often as you can, until someone makes a Reddit post or some YouTuber makes a video on it. And then the devs nerf it, okay? Back in the day, there was, you could do corrupted dungeons, like the crappy ones. Not Slayer, but the other full loot one. And you could make a full year's worth of premium in playing for one day. You could do corrupted dungeons for a single day, and it would pay for 12 months of premium. So in that regard, for today's currency, if you could play for one day doing PvP in 4.1 gear and make 292 million, do it now. Do it often. Do it early. Do it as much as you can before the devs pull the plug on it, okay? It is very important that if you discover some super money-making method, when this new patch comes out, maybe smuggler coins can be traded to some, cartel member for a ton of silver. Do it. And do it early, do it often, and do it as much as you can so that when it does get nerfed or normalizes or the economy adjusts, then you will be sitting real pretty high up on your pile of money. All right, you need to understand this. Don't be like, oh, it'll be there for me tomorrow. It'll be there for me next week. No. Stop what you're doing and do just that activity until it is nerfed to the ground. It is very important for you to understand this. And this applies to any MMORPG you play, or even in real life. Alright, that's the video. Leave a like, click the video on the right side of your screen, or you're going to stub your toe really hard, and it's going to hurt for more than 10 minutes. That's right, that's a painful one. And I'm going to start playing another game. I'm going to start covering another game on this channel. It's not a big game right now. Hopefully it does grow big one day, but it is a gacha game. I'm not going to spoil it for you. It's not any of the big major ones. It's a pretty small one, but I do enjoy it, and so look forward to that soon. I'm not going to tell you the name, but click that video on the right side of your screen, and I'll see you in the next video. Woo!